Hello team, welcome to today's session of Every Mark Matters. Today we are having a look at Edexcel History Paper 2 American West. Our question of the day is write a narrative account analysing the key events of the conflict between the US government and the Plains Indians in the years 1876 to 1890. And that is an 8-mark question. Our questions are made up of 3 components. The first component is the command phrase. And that in this question, that is write a narrative account. What you must do is you must tell the story. That means beginning, middle, end. Our focus of the question is conflict between US government and Plains Indians in the years 1876 to 1890. So that's the focus of the question. That's the knowledge that we need to apply to this question. So let's have a quick go then and think about what might be the knowledge. Do you want to press pause now and have a go at what that knowledge might be? I'll see you shortly. Okay, right, so welcome back. So firstly, it has to be within these years. So 1876, that's a massive one, isn't it? We have the Battle of Little Bighorn. And that is 1876. Another massive one within this gap is we have 1887 with the Dawes Act. You also have within that the extinction of the buffalo. And then finally, what the event I think that rounds off this whole period and ends in 1890 is Wounded Knee. Which is, of course, where the US Army massacres hundreds of members of his Sioux tribe because they think that they are carrying out a ghost dance. Okay, right, so there's the event. So there's your first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph. Right, let's have a think about our second order concept. So our second order concept within this question is narrative accounts. And specifically, our second order concept is chronology. What that means is you must, again, is going back to telling the story, so it needs to be in time order, which means you might use phrases like this led to, or as a result. This question is a 8-mark question. This is the only question that breaks the rule of 1 paragraph for every 4 marks. You are going to do 3 paragraphs and you're going to spend 15 minutes on this question. Again, our success criteria before we begin to start is, okay, let's have a little look here. So success criteria. So what are we looking for to get top marks here? Right, so if we go AO1 and AO2, what are we doing here? So we're trying to go for full marks. So first and foremost, if we want a level 3, that is going to be 1 event or 1 fact per paragraph. Level 4 is 2 precise facts. Both of these levels require your answer to be in chronological order. You'll get punished if it's not in chronological order. And in terms of our explanation, there must be vague links between events, and then for level 4 there must be a clear narrative between events. And again, what I would use is I would always come up with a motif. A motif is a theme throughout a story. So what you're going to do is you're going to have paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, and your motif is just a theme that bounces all the way through. And I'll tell you what I would do is actually start with the motif in a summary, and then finish with a motif, or finish off your motif with your summary as well. This question seems tricky. The reason why it's tricky is because you never actually learn how to do this until you do it in year 11, but it's something you're all very capable of. You are going to spend 15 minutes writing down 3 paragraphs, writing a narrative account, analysing the key events of the conflict between the US government and the Plains Indians in the years 1876 to 1890. I will see you shortly and we will get 8 marks together. Press pause, set a 15-minute timer, see you shortly. See you in a bit. Okay, righto. Right. I hope there you've spent a little bit of time having a go at writing a narrative account. Here's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to read through my answer, and as I'm going to do it is I'm going to score AO1 and AO2, and I might put M in a circle to demonstrate my motif. Allow me to read out my ugly handwriting. Ultimately, the conflict between the US government and Plains Indians during the period 1876 to 1890 led to the destruction of the Plains Indians' way of life. As a result of the Battle of Little Bighorn, the Dawes Act, the extinction of the buffalo, and finally the massacre at Wounded Knee. So there's some AO1 there, there's some AO1 there, and there's some AO1 there. And I think you can hopefully suspect that I'm going to carry on because I'm introducing the events, and these are my 3 paragraphs here. And my motif is the destruction of the Plains Indians' way of life. And what I've done is I've simply just chosen the relevant consequence. Okay, right, next paragraph. Firstly, in 1876, Custer's 17th Cavalry, AO1 plus, were defeated by 2,000 Sioux Indians, led by Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse at the Battle of Little Bighorn, with all of Custer's men being surrounded by the Sioux, leading to Custer's last stand. Right, okay, so AO1 plus again, AO1 plus again. Here is my first bit of evidence. I also know that Custer was extremely overconfident, and he split his army into 3 to try and surround the Sioux. This led to the destruction. Right, so there's my second piece of evidence. Right, let's carry on. This led to the destruction of the Plains Indians' way of life as the US felt humiliated by the defeat and changed their policy to cruelty and oppression, forcing the Indians to stay on reservations. So there is my AO2. So here is where I'm referring to my motif, because what has happened is the defeat by the US Army, the defeat of the US Army has made the US feel humiliated and has ultimately leads to the destruction of the Plains Indians' way of life. Let's have a look at my second paragraph about the Dawes Act. Next, in 1887, the US government created the Dawes Act, which coincided with the extinction of the buffalo in the 1880s. White hunters had exterminated millions of wild herds on the Great Plains, which removed the key food source for the tribes, leading to the US government taking more control over the tribes as they became more reliant on US food sources. So here is my first bit of evidence. Additionally, the Dawes Act removed the right for Plains Indians to live on reservations and force them to take up 160 acres of land. Right, there's my second piece of evidence about the Dawes Act. So obviously this is first about the extinction of the buffalo. Now this is talking about the Dawes Act. Now let's think about my motif is destruction of Plains Indians' way of life. Let's have a look at how do I do that. This led to the destruction of the Plains Indians' way of life as they had no animal to hunt and poor quality land. And the poor quality land they were given to led to alcohol addiction, debt and starvation. So there is my AO2 there. So plenty of knowledge throughout telling the story, and my use of this led to here reminds the reader of my motif. This led to the destruction of the nomadic lifestyle as they had no animal to hunt and no quality farming lands. Right, let's have a look at my final one. Finally, in 1890, the narrowing freedoms of the Plains Indians forced the tribes to become desperate and culminated in the ghost dance. Sitting Bull had envisaged the resurrection of all the dead Indians who would flood away the white American lifestyle. This led to fears from whites as it demonstrated the wounded which is demonstrated in the Wounded Knee massacre. 250 Indians were killed by US soldiers who fought the Sioux attempted a ghost dance. So again, here's my first bit of evidence. Here's my second piece of evidence. You'll notice that I've got loads of precise facts in it. This massacre symbolised white oppression to the Indians whilst confirming that to the whites the need to exterminate hostile Indians and ultimately the nomadic lifestyle. And again, you can see here, there's my AO2, and ultimately the nomadic lifestyle, that's the death of the Plains Indians' way of life. Going straight back to my motif, overall the nomadic lifestyle came at a cost of the Indian success at Bighorn, Dawes Act and the massacre at Wounded Knee. And there is my motif yet again. So if I go straight back to this, in my first paragraph, have I got two precise facts? Yes, I have. Have I got two precise facts in my second paragraph? Yes, I have. Have I done it in my third paragraph? Yes, I have. Is it in chronological order? Yes, indeed it is. Are there clear links to the narrative? Yes, there is in each paragraph. So that, ladies and gents, is 8 out of 8. Dead easy to do. 3 clear paragraphs. Event, link, event, link, event, link. Tying it into a motif. You use your motif to be fitting it in and around your consequences, and you've absolutely nailed writing a narrative account analysing the key events of conflict between the US government and the Plains Indians. Ladies and gents, thank you very much. I'll see you next time.